I don't get how you can sit there, look at the camera, fake cry with no tears on your face and say the words, I forgive myself, because how the fuck do you forgive yourself when it's taking you 10 years to speak up about it? When the only reason you forgive yourself when you want to bring this up now is because The Sun, a massive UK newspaper, has decided to write about you.
Why would an influencer ever fake stage 3 cancer? In October, it had been the Scottish lady Kira Cousins who faked pregnancy for 9 months and threw a gender reveal. Now it's popular TikTok influencer and mother of 2, Brittany Millers, who's been trending online for faking stage 3 gastric cancer back in 2017.
I said I had an illness, which was cancer. I didn't do this for malicious intent or to scam people.
With 3.5 million followers on TikTok, this mummy influencer built her empire on lifestyle content, cooking videos, and parenting updates. However, everything blew up when Brittany confessed to the cancer lie that had haunted her for almost a decade.
I'm so deeply sorry to anyone that I've upset or triggered from saying what I said.
Screenshots from her ex-best friend Beth revealed that Brittany had lied to her friends about having radiotherapy appointments, and she also had sent guilt-tripping messages to them so they would pity her and spend time with her. Beth also disclosed that Brittany had once told her that she was in pain when the tumor was removed. To make matters worse, Brittany set up a GoFundMe page that fetched her £150. And as if that wasn't bad enough, Brittany switched to committing serious crimes. She stole money from her friend's grandmother. Why? Brittany claimed she was drunk and heavily medicated, and was eventually convicted of fraud by false representation in 2020. But here's the crazy part. After Brittany built her influencer empire, she blocked and deleted anyone who dared mention her criminal past.
Like, why is she blocking me? I posted that video.
Fortunately, everything changed when the Sun newspaper exposed her story. Brittany had no choice but to confess that she had faked cancer in 2017.
So I never wanted to talk about this time in my life because it was a very difficult time for me. But I owe it to my followers and people that support me.
However, what she had to say was completely different from all the evidence lined up against her. You won't believe the words that came out of her mouth.
I also want to put a stop to the people that are twisting and exaggerating what actually happened.
How did a lifestyle influencer with such a horrific past manage to amass millions of followers? And is this a case of mental health illness, similar to factitious disorder like we saw with Kira Cousins? Or was this all for views? Because 3.5 million TikTok followers is a big achievement. Brittany's story starts with Beth, her ex-best friend of 5 years. Actually, it's thanks to her that Brittany's story made it to the internet today. Beth's TikTok account, which has a little over 10,000 followers, is like a time capsule into the past because it contains handwritten notes about her time with Brittany before their friendship went sour. In one of her notes, let's call it journals, Beth wrote, "Brittany was my best friend from the age of 16 through 21. That's 5 years of friendship. It's a period that even couples don't spend on average. This means that no one knows Brittany better than Beth." However, it wasn't until November 2017 that 21-year-old Brittany dropped a bombshell that would forever shatter their bond. She told Beth she had been diagnosed with stage 3 gastric cancer. Brittany lied about some really awful things that I do not feel comfortable writing on social media, but the latest confession was that in November 2017 she was diagnosed with stage 3 gastric cancer. Cancer is no joke. According to the World Health Organization, cancer is the leading cause of death worldwide, accounting for nearly 10 million deaths in 2020, or nearly 1 in 6 deaths. It kills by growing into key organs, nerves, or blood vessels and interfering with and impairing their function. It can begin in almost any human cell. In Brittany Miller's fabricated case, she had stage 3 gastric cancer. Let's take a glimpse of the kind of illness Brittany was claiming to have, because this is no joke.
Hello guys, my name is Diana Serrano. I am 26 years old and I'm battling stage 4 gastric cancer. Lately I've been in and out of the hospitals. I've been really struggling financially.
This is how bad cancer can get. First of all, gastric cancer is stomach cancer. In this type of sickness, the cancer cells usually begin in the inner lining of a person's stomach, then spread to other areas of the stomach walls. Now, if detected early at the first stage, it could be treated, but if it enters stage 2 and crosses to stage 3, then it could become fatal. Stage 2 and 3 are considered later cancer stages because the cancers and tumors tend to be larger and have grown deeply into surrounding tissues. They may also have spread to other parts of the body or the lymph system. This is a very serious and unpredictable stage of cancer. Patients who have reached this point will be burdened with the thoughts of what would happen at the end of their lives, how long their final period would be, and whether or not they would survive. This is the reality of people with stage 3 gastric cancer. Sadly, Diana's video from earlier is the last one on her page, and her best friend broke the sad news of her passing in the comments, much to the dismay of everyone. Someone out there is living with this ticking bomb, and they're valuing everything they hold dear. But Brittany Miller completely used this kind of heartbreaking story to deceive Beth and her loved ones. Now, if your best friend tells you they have cancer, you wouldn't think they're lying, right? That wouldn't even cross your mind for a second. You would just immediately believe them because in good faith, you assume they're also a good friend who wouldn't lie about something so horrible. And Beth was exactly that kind of friend. Supportive, caring, willing to do anything to help her best friend. So she researched everything she could about gastric cancer. Beth even cooked for the person she believed was her best friend and catered for her needs the best way she could. She even sent her money for radiotherapy. When I found out, I did all the research I could to help her, made her a hamper up of all the good products and food that could help her, looked after her, cooked for her, transferred her money to get her radiotherapy appointments, anything she needed. Beth truly was the best friend a girl could ask for. She was there for every supposed hospital visit, every fake tumor update, every manufactured crisis. She believed every single word that came out of Brittany's mouth. However, all this time, Beth failed to realize that Brittany not only weaponized this lie, but also used it as emotional blackmail to control her best friend's every move. Beth further described a systematic pattern of guilt tripping that Brittany began to adopt at this point in the lie. According to her written note, Brittany centered their friendship all around her. Brittany's level of control was so much that Beth wasn't allowed to make friends or spend time with her family. She always brought up the topic of her radiotherapy to get whatever she wanted. I wasn't allowed to have other friends. She would fall out with me if I was spending time with my family and not her. She would get nasty if I didn't want to go out on a night out with her because I was concerned about her illness. She used to make scenarios up such as, "It's the end of my 3-month radiotherapy session. The tumor has shrunk. Please, you have to come out for a drink with me." I truly believe she manipulated me. Now, if we look at it through Beth's perspective, she didn't see an issue with Brittany's behavior. Her best friend was extremely sick and needed both physical and emotional support. This wasn't a little flu or headache. It was stage 4 gastric cancer. Brittany continued to exploit Beth's love and care for her. Let's take a look at how far she went with it. Fortunately, Beth's side of the story didn't just end with handwritten notes. She also provided screenshots of messages between her and Brittany all those years ago. In those text messages, you can see how Brittany would always talk about her illness to make sure Beth felt sorry for her. "I'm either at radiotherapy, sleeping, at home with my mom on my back, or at Didcot. Didn't go out last weekend because I felt too ill in the end." And not only did she talk about cancer like it wasn't a serious sickness, but she also guilt-tripped Beth for not spending time with her. Here's one example. "So you actually won't come out tomorrow?" And here's another. "I just would have thought at a time like this you'd prioritize me." And as if lying about cancer wasn't bad enough, Brittany decided to take things to an even more disgusting level. During Beth's 21st birthday celebration, Brittany stole money from Beth's grandmother's card. Beth immediately confronted her, and guess what? Brittany denied it at first. Beth's grandmother, who had been praying for Brittany throughout her supposed illness, had given Beth a card with money in it for her birthday. It was in a Sainsbury's bag, and when Beth discovered it, the pink card had been ripped open and the money was gone. Beth believed Brittany had taken it, and so she confronted her through text. This was meant to be a memorable and joyful celebration, but Brittany had ended up ruining their day. Brittany eventually admitted it in a very shameful way. Before confessing, she tried to defend herself by saying she had been drunk. In her text, Brittany said, "I picked up a random card without thinking, not knowing what was in it. Trust me, it breaks my heart that I did that. I didn't say anything yesterday because I was very drunk Saturday, and I don't remember it clear, so I didn't want to say, because I didn't know for sure." First of all, how does one casually pick up a random card without thinking or knowing what was in it? That's called stealing. Then after doing that, she shifted her explanation to how drunk she was and didn't remember anything. It was clear that Brittany was desperate to offer an explanation to get out of the mess she had created by herself. This is the kind of excuse a 5-year-old would come up with, and someone she expected her best friend to believe it. Nothing can justify stealing from a friend. Whether you're drunk or not, there is absolutely no excuse for it. Stealing only shows that you're not a good person and you have no respect for other people's properties. For Beth, it was not easy to forgive. What Brittany did truly hurt her to the core. Her own best friend had stolen from her grandmother who had been praying day and night for her recovery. This was extremely shameful. But was this the end of Brittany's lies? Definitely not. Brittany's love for stealing wasn't only limited to Beth's grandmother's card. In fact, it graduated to a much grander scale. This is where Brittany Miller's case started to take a turn. As this cancer lie began to spread, a Just Giving page asking for £500 suddenly surfaced on the internet. The page revealed a short request. We're raising money to help financially support my friend Brittany fighting gastric cancer. For those who do not know, this is like a GoFundMe, a crowdfunding page where you can request for financial assistance for a particular cause. In Brittany's case, it was for her invisible fight against gastric cancer. The information on the page read, "My beautiful sister, best friend Brittany is 21 and has been diagnosed with gastric cancer and is fighting for her life. Any donations or support would be very much appreciated." Among the numerous screenshots Beth provided, she revealed that Brittany had sent the link to the Just Giving page to her. At the time, Brittany had claimed that her sister had created the account, but Beth believed this was a lie. Brittany had created the account by herself and sent it to everyone. The page was shared among friends, family, and former colleagues. It's sad to see how much Brittany's friends had cared for her. They were going to such lengths, reaching out to people they were not even close contact with, all for the sake of raising funds for her radiotherapy. One of Brittany's friends even donated and sent her a heartfelt message. "Hi Brittany, really saddened to hear your news. You're a fighter and like everybody who knows, we know you will beat this. I hope that the little that I've donated will help ease the financial burden." Unfortunately, they did not know what was going on in the background, because had they known the ugly truth, they would have never donated any money. Surprisingly, Brittany responded to this heartwarming text. "Thank you so much for the message and the money. I really appreciate it," and kept receiving support from everywhere. Her Just Giving page also climbed up to £150. But then something strange happened. The donation page was suddenly taken down, and the actual truth about Brittany started to circulate. Brittany Miller had lied about having gastric cancer, and the key witness in this case was none other than her own mother. Beth explained how Brittany's mother had realized that Brittany had been lying all along. She was a mother after all. She had to know what was wrong with her daughter. This commenter had made a valid point in their question. Did her family also believe her? How did she say she had so many hospital appointments? Surely family would have wanted to attend too. Those are pretty valid questions. Did her family not accompany her to those appointments? Well, the simple answer is yes, they did. Brittany's family also wanted to be part of her treatment journey at the hospital. However, it was during that very trip that Brittany's mother discovered that it was a big lie. And her mom told me it was all a lie. She took her to the hospital one day with her granddad as her own mom had suspicions, and when she got to the desk, according to Beth, Brittany's mother was suspicious and had taken her and her grandfather to the hospital one day. But on getting to the front desk, something strange happened. There were no appointments under Brittany's name. Then Brittany told them to wait in the car. This was when the most bizarre thing happened. Brittany's mother watched Brittany as she sat down, stalled for time, and walked out of the hospital as if she had completed her radiotherapy session. This is the height of deception. No good person would do something like this, especially to their own family who was genuinely worried about her health. Beth also explained that Brittany always kept her at arm's length from her mom, and she learned about this from Brittany's mom when they met up a year after their friendship had ended. From this turn of events, it's possible that Brittany's mother had discovered that her daughter was lying about cancer from the start. However, the poor mom didn't know that Brittany continued to lie to her friends. And even worse, she'd raised £150 from a GoFundMe page for it. This is absolutely disgusting. Thankfully, Brittany's lies were finally discovered. The exact circumstance surrounding how the truth came out is unclear, but it eventually circulated to her friends and family. Brittany and Beth's friendship ended immediately. There's no screenshots showing how their friendship ended. However, there are screenshots of one particular confrontation on the internet. This is the one between Brittany and the friend who had sent her that heartwarming message that Brittany responded to. When the truth came out, this friend confronted Brittany. The friend sent a text to her demanding an explanation about the entire situation before she took the case up to the police. The message read, "I want to give you a chance to fix this before I go to the police. I have proof from your family and friends, also the Just Giving page, and so on." The friend also revealed that she had donated money from the little she had because she had been unemployed at the time. Most importantly, she didn't even have a job, yet she donated, knowing her friend was scamming her. With the truth now revealed, she was ready to take legal action if Brittany failed to refund the money. The friend told Brittany, "Please return my money so I can give it to someone who genuinely needs it. If you don't bother, I will be going to the police." And what did Brittany say to all this? Well, she simply blocked her. Just straight up blocked her and hoped the problem would go away. But this friend had actual backbone and followed through on the threat.
Court. Big balls because she just blocked her. Then we see she got charged. Wild. This was the friend that actually did have the balls and took it to court with her other friends, as they were the ones who donated to the GoFundMe. They knew Brittany from work.
Brittany's friend made the report to the Criminal Justice Department in Oxfordshire, and an investigation was launched. Afterward, an email from the legal team handling the case revealed what happened next. Today, Brittany was interviewed about the offense, and she admitted that she did not have cancer, and she never has done. She admitted that she set up the Just Giving page knowing full well what she was doing. This is what you should note at this point. Brittany didn't admit to the lies out of guilt or remorse. She admitted them because she was caught red-handed and had no choice. She confessed to the police that she never had cancer, that she set up the fundraising page herself, and that she knew exactly what she was doing. Subsequently, in July 2020, Brittany Miller was sentenced to 12 months by the criminal justice system. The official court documents state, at a previous hearing, Brittany Miller pleaded guilty to the following charges: fraud by false representation. The defendant has been given conditional discharge for 12 months. In addition to that, Brittany was ordered to pay compensation to her victims and £85 in cost to the Crown Prosecution Service. The case was concluded, and Brittany Miller now had a criminal record for fraud. She had officially been recognized as a criminal in the face of the law. But here's what makes this whole situation more infuriating. Despite her status as a fraudster, Brittany Miller was still lucky enough to rise to internet stardom as an influencer. In fact, her story had just begun, and it started unfolding with more drama. Brittany's influencing journey began on Instagram in May 2020, when she reviewed outfits and makeup products from brands like Primark and Just Right Beauty.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, happy.
Then by December that year, she had already grown and amassed 68 collaborations. However, it was sometime in between this period that Beth made it her mission to expose Brittany for what she had done in the past. This decision came right after Beth noticed that Brittany was promoting breast cancer awareness on her Instagram page sometime in 2020. This has come about again because she is now an influencer on Instagram, using her platform to promote a campaign, again, breast cancer awareness. This is not right. And since speaking openly about my experience, it seems a lot of other people have been hurt by this sick, evil girl. I don't wish any hate on her, but she does not deserve a platform, and people deserve to know the truth and be aware of what she is capable of. Now, by all means, her fans had to know who they were following and why she wasn't someone with a good conscience. Some of her followers might be fighting cancer, or they might have relatives who died from it. Moreover, her platforms were earning her solid incomes. It's estimated that with Instagram and TikTok combined, Brittany could be earning between $45,000 and $67,000. The engagement Brittany was receiving from her fans was fetching her an enormous amount of money. Therefore, they had every right to know that the woman whom they admired on the internet could have a habit of scamming people.
I recently started watching Brittany and I was really enjoying her content. And then I discovered this on my TikTok and it literally blew me away. I've never felt so I had neuroblastoma and my life will forever be affected by it. Not only do I still live with physical conditions, but also mental conditions. It's just not funny to joke about or lie about. Don't do it.
This is why Beth tried to do her part by making sure Brittany's fans were aware of her ugly past. I don't wish any hate on her, but she does not deserve a platform, and people deserve to know the truth and be aware of what she is capable of. Sadly, nothing happened afterwards, and Brittany's Instagram posts from 2020 were completely wiped off. Right now, her very first Instagram post dates back to 2022. Nothing about Brittany Miller's cancer lie was mentioned on the internet again until 2023 when Beth brought it up on her TikTok page. She posted all the text messages and documents we've addressed so far on her account. But sadly, those videos barely broke 10,000 views. In fact, they barely made 500 likes. Some commenters believed everything she had said. No effing way, this is horrendous. I don't care how long ago this is disgusting, and I'm sorry to anyone that's hurt by this. That's not something to ever lie about. Wow, she's just lost a follower, that's for sure. Then on the other hand, there were some internet users who were still skeptical. They expressed that they wouldn't say anything until Brittany Miller explained her own side of the story. Some even wondered why Beth was even posting about it at all. This is terrible, I get it. But if this was years ago, what does bringing it up do? Holding on to resentment eats you up eventually. What commenters like this don't realize is that there are some behaviors that just can't be excused even after 100 years. Should someone who once made racist claims in the past be forgiven just because it was in the past? Look at Justin Bieber. He said the N-word in a video back in 2014.
One less lonely nigga. One less lonely nigga. One less lonely nigga.
He was 20 years old and hadn't known better. Still, he apologized for it. First in 2014, and a second time in 2019. What does this case teach us? It shows that no matter what, the past will always catch up to you. Like Bieber, Brittany had to face the accusations if she wanted to protect her platform. But here's what makes her completely different from Justin Bieber. Brittany wasn't acknowledging or apologizing for her wrongdoings. She remained silent through it all, posting on her social media account like nothing was happening. It was annoying, and her silence only made her fans question Beth and her quest to spread the truth. To commenters who kept wondering why Beth was bringing up the past when Brittany had become a successful influencer, Beth defended herself. She claimed that she had done this back in 2020 when Brittany had not gotten TikTok famous, but no one believed her. It was brought up in 2020 as mentioned. People were refusing to believe it. The mixed reactions on Brittany's case continued around this time in 2023. Beth's posts were barely gaining any attention, and Brittany's kept growing and growing until it got to 3.5 million followers. Why was this happening, you may ask? Well, it's because Brittany had successfully reinvented herself as a relatable influencer. A very clever influencer who knew perfectly how to manipulate viewers on her fingertips. Her content was homely. You would never suspect that she was someone who once lied about having cancer. Brittany posted cooking videos,
Honey roasted parsnips and carrots, but I hate parsnips, so I've just got a little bit of carrot. Oh, stuffing balls, but this is actually apple and rosemary stuffing balls.
Her specialty was always potato dishes. Brittany's food content was surrounded around jacket potatoes.
Potato, but jacket potato is like one of my favourite dishes.
Roasted potatoes.
Real crispy potatoes.
And mashed potatoes.
It's dinner time. Mashed potato. It's dinner time. This is gorgeous mash.
Beyond her cooking videos, Brittany often posted about her lifestyle, from dating vlogs of her and her boyfriend Ash.
Here's a vlog of what me and Ash got up to today. So first we came into town, he took some pictures of me. I really wanted some like cute autumn pics, and oh my god, this outfit was lush. And then we came to Starbucks, they had no pumpkin spice, I was literally fuming. So I got myself a chai and Ash got a mocha.
To shopping hauls.
Everyone literally raves about Team U, so I wanted to see what all the fuss was about. And I've got like a mixture of like home stuff and clothes. First of all, this cardigan, unreal, is from Team U.
She shared everything on her social media page. She also shared videos on how to style your clothing. Her brand was very fun to watch, and followers wanted more of it. Then in 2024, Brittany's content transitioned to mummy influencing after she gave birth to twin boys. She positioned herself so well that no one would dare to doubt her. Everyone would believe she's a hard-working mom who's busy taking care of her two beautiful kids, setting a positive example in society. Her content now revolved around family, like this one where she, Ash, and the twins set up their Christmas tree.
Finished it off with a star, and I feel like I should have got an angel, but a star will do for now. And then we turned on the Christmas lights, and oh my god, I'm actually obsessed.
The video racked up 16.6 million views and gained over 1 million likes. Her videos attracted massive views like this. Here's another video of Brittany just being happy about motherhood while revealing Ash and their babies.
Yeah. And here's Elijah having a cuddle with Daddy.
He's loving it.
He's Sparko, just like Emiliano.
This video gained over 900,000 views and 11.3 million likes.
Like it needs like more Christmas cushions. Ash put together the Christmas tree. I absolutely hate this bit. It just confuses the hell out of me.
The entire atmosphere in Brittany's videos was genuinely refreshing. But here's the thing, as Brittany continued to post warm content about her boys, she was actively blocking people who kept mentioning her past.
Brittany Miller has blocked me.
After I told her to address it, she was rude and has now blocked me. She doesn't deserve her platform. She's disgusting.
It got to a point that someone made an anonymous report to social services concerning Brittany's parenting. The report made her out to be an abusive mother. Brittany shared this story on her page.
Someone made an anonymous, obviously anonymous because you're pussy, report to social services about me and how I am as a mum, accusing me of child abuse.
Even her partner Ash was questioned as well.
So not only was Brittany Miller reported to social services, her partner Ash was also questioned. He was asked whether Brittany was a...
From an objective point of view, the situation wasn't fair on Brittany's part. All she had ever shared on her page were videos of her making treats for kids.
Please. Which one do you want? Kiwi.
And just cute family moments that always showed the kids happy and content. It was clear that the report had been made due to the attention Brittany was receiving.
But people just want to shit all over it all the time. People are so desperate on like my downfall and bringing me down, but bringing my children into it is ludicrous. Like, why would you want to do that to them? Like innocent babies, why would you want to do that to them?
It's not a good situation, and no one should face such accusations, not even Brittany, especially when her online content has never given viewers a reason to doubt her parenting skills. And eventually nothing came out of this social service story. In fact, Brittany's supporters only loved her even more. They wished her well, and even hoped that the people who had made the report were faced with legal charges. And like before, Brittany continued to live her life. For years, she successfully buried the cancerous story to make sure she cultivated a following like this, a following of devoted fans who had absolutely no idea who they were actually supporting. Now, Beth must have been losing her mind. Imagine watching your abuser become famous, and nobody believes you when you try to expose them.
That was rude. That was pretty fucking rude.
And get this, Beth wasn't jealous. She was a victim trying to warn people, trying to get some semblance of justice, trying to make sure the world knew who Brittany Miller really was. Yet for years, Brittany got away with it until the Sun newspaper came to the rescue. On the 4th of November 2025, the Sun newspaper published an article on Brittany Miller's story. The publication explained everything Beth had been telling the internet since 2020. And here's the twist. It also covered another legal issue about the influencer that was hardly talked about. It was another fraud-related case in 2018, where Brittany had been caught after giving a railway company a fake name and address. She was fined a fee of £320 as a result. The Sun exposed everything they could gather from the internet and private sources about Brittany Miller. And from there on, her story spread to other big media outlets like BBC and Cosmopolitan. Within 2 days, Brittany Miller's name began to trend online. And thanks to this, Brittany was backed into a corner. This time around, she couldn't delete or block her way out of her past mistakes. So on November 10th, 7 days after the publication, Brittany posted a 5-minute-long apology video on her TikTok. It immediately became one of her most viewed pieces of content. The video gained over 12 million views and more than 800,000 likes. The video opens with Brittany looking into the camera, her face contorted in what's supposed to be distress, and she starts it by claiming that she owed it to her fans to tell the truth. And not just any truth, but her truth.
Okay, so I never wanted to talk about this time in my life because it was a very difficult time for me. But I owe it to my followers and people that support me.
Now, there are multiple problems with this introduction. The first one is the fact that Brittany had called it my truth. This is a red flag because it's telling her audience that regardless of the evidence they had, the only thing that stands as the truth to her is her own explanation. Secondly, she claimed that people were twisting and exaggerating the whole story. This is bold and unreasonable because there are multiple text messages and court documents that prove that she was a fraud. That's not twisting anything. That's just showing receipts. Then the last problem with this introduction is how she claimed that she owed it to her followers to make this video. Now, Brittany had more than enough time to come clean to her fans and followers. She could have said something between those 5 years of posting about potatoes, clothes, and makeup. But she didn't. Now, why was she suddenly moved to address it right after a newspaper had spread her story all over the media? It was because of how badly it could ruin her reputation. In reality, she was just the same as her 21-year-old self. She was still manipulative and insensitive to the cancer lie she had orchestrated all by herself, and her word choices in the opening of her apology video just proved that. Surprisingly, this time, she continued her apology with a new explanation no one had heard of since the 2017 scam. Specifically speaking, Brittany claimed that she had bad mental health.
So back in 2017, I had extremely bad mental health. And at the time I didn't realise how bad. But it was bad.
Extremely bad mental health, she'd said. That was her excuse. It's so vague, it's almost comedic. But okay, let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Mental health struggles are real and serious, and they can absolutely lead people to make terrible decisions. But at the same time, cancer is real and serious, and Brittany lied about that as well. So what should people believe? Brittany painted the picture of a dark period in her life to show how depressed she had been.
I was depressed, I was suicidal, I was lost, I was confused. I lost my partner, I lost my job. And there was lots of things in that year that led me to be mentally ill.
Then it was at the height of this dark period that she had made a stupid mistake. She told her friend she had cancer. This is where the whole story began.
I said I had an illness, which was cancer. I didn't do this for malicious intent or to scam people.
Brittany expressed that she had not done this out of desperation to keep the people in her life close to her, and it wasn't a long-running scam like people were claiming.
I did this out of desperation. I did it to keep the people close to me, to keep the people in my life close. This was not a long-running scam or a manipulative story like it's been made out.
You see how Brittany's truth is starting to resemble lies? Despite the amount of evidence piled up against her, Brittany made it seem like it had been one short discussion about cancer that went out of hand. There are text messages, proof of Brittany guilt-tripping Beth repeatedly. There were talks about fake radiotherapy appointments. All these continued from November to February the next year. Yet Brittany sat in front of the camera to claim that it was not a long-running scam. Brittany had claimed that she did it out of desperation to keep people close to her. But it's insane how she doesn't see the problem right there. Using a fake cancer diagnosis to manipulate people into staying in your life is literally the definition of malicious content. That's not desperation, that's psychological abuse. The whole situation had taken her to court, and yet she was claiming it wasn't a scam. The irony writes itself. But wait, it gets better. Brittany now entered the GoFundMe part of her story. Hear what she had to say.
The people that I told then told a couple of others. And there was a fundraising page made on behalf of me, which I knew about.
Unbelievable. Brittany had the guts to say that she wasn't the one who created the account, despite the fact that here's proof of her admitting to the police that she set the page herself. There's also evidence that Brittany was the one who sent the link herself, and messages of Brittany thanking people for donating. Surprisingly, despite the existence of these documents, Brittany Miller was still lying to everyone. This was meant to be an apology video. She was supposed to apologize for lying about a serious illness long ago. Yet everything she said in the video were lies. Brittany claimed that she had not touched a penny from the donations and had it shut down as soon as she discovered it.
And as soon as I saw there was donations, there was 2 donations, I had the page immediately shut down and I didn't take a penny from it.
Again, this directly contradicts the legal evidence. Brittany was convicted for fraud. The compensation she was ordered to pay, the £85 fee, was for the money she had taken. The court wouldn't convict people and order compensation for fraud that didn't result in financial loss. Throughout this entire apology, Brittany does this thing where she closes her eyes and makes sobbing sounds, but there are no actual tears. It's like watching someone perform what they think crying looks like without actually crying. It's uncomfortable to watch, not because it's emotional, but because it's obviously fake. They didn't believe the tears or the mental health excuse. With the way she was very robotic in her video, some viewers even wondered if she was reading from a script. Brittany's apology video only proved that she was not genuine at heart. Just look at how she claimed that she had forgiven herself while hiding behind mental illness.
It took me a long time to understand why I did it. And I forgive myself because I was mentally ill.
Notice how it's so similar to how she apologized for her wrongdoings in the past, while also hiding behind her cancer and saying that she forgives herself. Well, that's nice for her. Maybe it's why she didn't talk about it over the years. But what about the victims of her manipulation and fraud? What about the followers she purposefully kept in the dark while Beth tried to inform them? What about cancer patients who might be among her 3.5 million followers? After her long, meaningless explanation, Brittany ended her video by first thanking her supporters.
And I also just want to say a massive, massive thank you to all the people out there that support me and still follow me. When you didn't know my truth, you still believed in me.
And then by stating that she wanted to be an advocate for mental illness.
And I'm here because I want to be an advocate for mental health. I want to help people because I know what it's like to be in a dark place.
Brittany's apology video was tone-deaf and full of lies. Not to mention she omitted so much. She didn't address the theft from Beth's grandmother, the specific manipulative text messages, and the fact that she only admitted to any of this after being caught and prosecuted. Unfortunately, her fake apology was still not over. On November 13th, 3 days after the apology video, she made a follow-up video. In this one, she basically repeated every lie she told in the first, but she added something new. Brittany claimed that mental health wasn't her excuse for lying about cancer, but it was her reason.
Mental health is not my excuse, but it's my reason. No one in their right frame of mind would come out and say that unless they had malicious intent.
But here's the thing, mental illness can explain behavior without excusing it. And more importantly, the way Brittany describes her mental health situation doesn't quite add up with the calculated nature of what she did. There's a condition called factitious disorder, also known as Munchausen syndrome, where people fake or induce illness to receive attention and sympathy.
There is a delusional disorder where you quite literally lose touch with reality and do things that do not align with reality for reasons that do not make sense. Which is why everybody is like, why the fuck would she?
It's a genuine psychological disorder, and we saw something potentially similar with Kira Cousins and her fake pregnancy. Now, people with factitious disorder often believe their own lies to some extent. They're trapped in a psychological cycle where attention and sympathy become addictive.
Maybe she wasn't kidding when she said, I had a mental illness. Because maybe that mental illness was factitious disorder.
But here's the difference. Brittany admitted to police that she never had cancer and knew exactly what she was doing when she set up the fundraising page. So that level of self-awareness doesn't align with factitious disorder. And what Brittany did looks less like a mental health crisis and more like deliberate manipulation with mental health struggles as a contributing factor. Yes, she was probably depressed. And yes, she probably lost her job and her partner. Yes, that probably makes her desperate for connection and attention. But she made active choices to lie, to sustain the lie over months, to set up a fundraising page, to steal, to thank people for donations, and to maintain the deception even when directly confronted. These were conscious decisions, not symptoms of uncontrollable mental illness. Should mental health be a valid excuse? Unless Brittany received a real diagnosis from a professional psychiatrist, we'll never know. The internet can only speculate. From her mummy vlogs, we can see that she possesses enough mental strength to be a loving mother to her twin sons, but who knows what else she could be capable of in the near future. After the entire saga, Brittany continues to post on TikTok as if nothing happened. Days after her apology video, she's back to showing her twins, cooking her meals, and doing shopping hauls. Her follower count barely affected. She still has millions of followers immediately after the scandal broke. Her videos still get hundreds of thousands of views. It's almost as if the controversy acted as publicity for her. However, although nothing much was happening on her end, many internet users still remained angry.
Do you know what I think Brittany Miller should have done? I think she should have just said, I was an absolute cunt. I'd done wrong. I was a piece of crap. I'm trying to improve myself. Instead, it was, I suffered with mental health. It was, other people are exaggerating.
Even cancer patients and survivors showcase their displeasure. people who've actually gone through chemotherapy, lost their hair, vomited from treatments, watched loved ones die. They're posting video responses expressing how insulted and mocked they feel by Brittany's actions.
I honestly don't ever understand why someone would ever claim to have cancer when they don't. Because if you know or have had cancer, you'll know how fucking hard it is. The pain I am in is...
These aren't just random haters, they're people who live the reality that Brittany weaponized for sympathy. She mocked their real suffering, made it sound like it was nothing, all for money and attention. And despite every attempt to get actual remorse from her, Brittany continues to live her life as an influencer to more than 3 million people. People have been calling for her to get deplatformed. Sadly, at the end of the day, nothing has happened. And the irony is she could continue to grow her platform millions of followers at a time. So where do we go from here? Brittany Miller's story is frustrating because it feels unfinished. There's no satisfying resolution and no moment of genuine remorse. She lied, she got caught, she gave a half-hearted apology full of more lies, and then she just continued. Her career is intact. Her followers remain loyal. Her life goes on. Her case is quite similar to Kira Cousins, the Scottish woman who faked pregnancy in October 2025. Kira had lied to her friends and family for over 10 months. She wore a fake baby bump, posted fake ultrasound pictures, threw a baby shower, and when it was time to give birth, she brought home a silicone doll as her baby. This case is awfully similar to Brittany's. They both deceived their loved ones for an extended period of time. Today, Kira Cousins is profiting off her lies by featuring in a documentary by Soho Studios Entertainment and Glasgow-based Two Rivers Media. This documentary will tell her audience all about her story, about how she made a fool out of everyone by lying to them. Will Brittany Miller's case end up the same way? Will she sit in a documentary maker's office one day to talk about how bad mental health had pushed her to lie about cancer when she was 21 years old? Kira Cousins fooled everyone, including the father of her fake child. Will Brittany do the same? If she was evil enough to deceive her best friend, one can only wonder what she'll do to her partner Ash. We can't say for sure what'll happen in the future for Brittany Miller. Right now, she's a millionaire TikTok influencer with 3.5 million followers. And nothing has changed since the whole incident blew up on the internet. The only thing that Brittany Miller's case has proven so far is that her audience would always choose entertainment over ethics. And that's the most depressing part of the entire story. What do you think? Will Brittany Miller's past ever let her go? Will she ever scam people in the future again? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching and see you in our next video.